Okay, we are going to talk about coterminal angles. Before I go ahead and solve a couple of problems, I would like to explain real quick, give you idea what coterminal angle is. Let's say this is my coterminal for this angle. I mean, this is terminal for this angle. So I can go, let's say, this way, the counterclockwise. So these two angles are coterminal. I can go further, let's say, draw this angle. So all these three angles we consider coterminal angles because they have same terminal. Okay, that's what we are going to find coterminal. Which angle will be coterminal to given angle? All right, so let's take first one, negative 275 degrees. So let's see how it's gonna look like on the graph. First of all, I know that this is 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees, one rotation, revolution. Okay, and if I go counterclockwise, it still will be 0 degrees, negative 90 degrees, negative 180 degrees, negative 270 degrees, and back to 360. Okay, so negative 275 degrees. Let's go. It's negative sign and I'm going clockwise, so I'm coming negative 90, then negative 180, negative 270. So I have left 5 degrees, correct? So 5 degrees, it's gonna be, let's say, something here. Okay, 5 degrees. All right, so this is negative 275. What will be our coterminal degree? It can be this one, right? So how many degrees this will be? If we have this 90 degrees, right? First quadrant, if this is 90 degrees, correct? And we came here, it was 5 degrees. So, which means this one will be 85 degrees, right? 90 minus 5, 85 degrees. Now let's do it here, calculate it. So, if you have negative angle, to get coterminal angle, you have to add, because you are going opposite direction, right? You see I went negative, so here I went positive. So I'm adding one revolution, 300, let me put this way, plus 360 degrees. And guess how much I'm getting? Precisely 85 degrees, and it is positive because it's asking for positive one. Okay, all right, next one. Let's find coterminal angle for negative 855 degrees. All right, let's go. 855. So it's negative, so I'm going this way. So here we got 360 degrees. Going one more time, we got 720 degrees. Let's see how much more we have left to go. 855 minus 720. We get 5, 335. So I'm going 135 is another 90 degrees, yes. And another 45 degrees. So it's coming right in the middle. Okay, another 45 degrees. So this is negative 855 degrees. Guess how much will be then coterminal angle, which is going to be, let's go this way, this one. Okay, or you know what, let me move it here. Okay, so here, so I would have space for positive degree. Much better. So how many degrees this is going to be? Let's see. This arc is 90 degrees, positive 90, positive 100, and plus 45, right? Because if this angle is 45 degrees, so another 45, so 180 plus 45, 225 degrees, right? Okay, so the coterminal is 225 degrees. So for negative 855, so if I add 360, look here what's happening. How many times I rotated to get this 855? 3 times, right? It's gonna be, here it is. Let me go over. Once, twice, no, 2.5, somewhat. Okay, so if I add here 360 degrees, it's not gonna work because I will end up with another negative number, right? And negative angle. So if I add plus twice, 360 degrees, so I'm getting 720 degrees, which I will end up with negative at the coterminal angle again. And we need, our goal is to find positive one, positive angle. So I'm going to go 3 times. Remember, I had to rotate 2 and something times. 3 times. So what's gonna get this time? It's gonna be equal negative 855 plus 1080, right? So, and the answer is going to be 225 degrees. And indeed, we get precisely what we were looking for. Okay. Another one. I will do 4 problems to make sure we understand real well. All right, positive 425 degrees now. 425 degrees. So let me draw it. I'm going positive, since it's positive, I'm going this way. I got 360. So 425 minus 360. This is 5. 12 minus 6 is 65 degrees. So I have to go another 65 degrees, which means if I do this right in the middle, it's going to be 45. So this is, if this is my 45 and another half of it also, approximately, it's going to give me my 425 degrees. Let me clean this. Okay. So this is 425 degrees. All right. So, and this is positive angle, and we need to find the positive coterminal angle. So how we are going to do that? Which one is going to be positive coterminal? It can be this one, right? So since we calculated this is 65 degrees, because we had 360 and then we had to add 65, which means this angle, red color, it's going to be also, it's 65 degrees. Let's show here on calculation that we get 65 degrees. So 425, since it's positive, then now I'm going backwards, subtract. I need to subtract to get smaller one, less than 360 degrees. If I do minus 360 degrees, how much I will get? That's right, precisely 65 degrees. Okay, remember one thing, if we are looking for positive, keep this in mind, if we are looking for positive less than 360 degrees, then if degree is negative, you have to add. If degree is positive, you need to subtract. Okay? So you can get the positive angle. And that's usually the most common cases when we are looking for positive coterminal angle. Okay, this is coterminal for angles measured in degrees. Let's do the same thing, but this time I won't graph anymore. I'll just go through calculations. Find the coterminal angle that are expressed through radians. So find positive angle that less than 2 pi and positive angle. Okay, so let's take the first example. Let's assume we have negative pi over 60. Since we are looking for coterminal angle that is positive and less than 2 pi, then for negative the angle we are adding positive 2 pi. For positive angle expressed with radian, we subtract 2 pi or times some angle times 2 pi. Okay, so negative pi over 60. Since we have negative pi over 60, then we are adding 2 pi, which is, we know, 360. Adding 2 pi. So let's do the math portion. By the way, I have a video where I explain addition, subtraction of fractions if somebody needs to refresh the memory. So common denominator is going to be 60, because here it's 1 denominator. So 60 by 60, this is 1. Here it's going to be 60, right? Because denominator is only 1. So we get pi, negative pi, plus 60 times 2 pi. This is equal negative pi plus 120 pi divided by 60. And the answer is 119 pi over 60. Okay, next one. Negative 44 pi over 5. So since negative, we are adding positive 2 pi. So let's see what we get. Common denominator again is 5. So this is here 1. Here we take 5 times. So negative 44 pi, Here, if 5 times 2, I'm getting 10 pi. So we need positive coterminal. Here I will end up with negative, right? Negative 44 plus 10, which means 1 time 2 pi is not enough. I'm going to take twice, okay? I'm going to take twice, which is going to be here also if I multiply here twice, because I will have 4 times. Okay, let me write down like that. So it will be 5 times 2 times 2 pi. Let's see, 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 2 is 20. Okay, negative 44 plus 20. Again, we are getting negative number. So we are going back and increasing 3 times. If I take 3 times, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 5 is, let's say 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 5 is 30. So going higher, and I can see here that only if I multiply by 5 times, I will get the number that is greater than negative 44, and that will give me positive result. So 5 times 5, because this 5 and this 5, right? 2 pi. So that's, and times 2 pi, negative 44 pi, plus 5 times 5, 25, plus 50 pi, divided by 5. See, I went slow on purpose so you can understand. So to get the positive coterminal angle, you have to multiply this 2 pi so many times until you get the number that will be greater than negative at the 44 pi. So the result would give you positive. So this is going to give you 6 pi over 5. Okay, I don't know why I made it in red. So let's turn into green and continue. Next one, we have negative 13 pi over 3. All right, since it's negative, I'm adding 2 pi because we want to get positive coterminal. So let's see what we are going to get here. Common denominator is 3. So here we get 1 times, and here we get 3 times to multiply. So it's going to be negative 13 pi plus 6 pi. All right, it's not working again. So we have to get more. So twice 2 pi will be 4. If I add here twice, 4, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, and times 3 is 12. Okay, so it's not enough. So multiplying 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 times 3 is 18. Very good. So 3 times it's going to work. So writing down 3 times 3 and times 2 pi. Okay, so that is equal negative 13 pi plus, it's going to be 18 pi, and divide by 3. And the final answer is 5 pi over 3. Okay, let's do one more. 19 pi over 6. So how many times we are going to take this one? Because we have positive. And if we have positive, first of all, we need to subtract 2 pi, yes? So if I subtract, let me see, 6. So this will be changing the 1 time, which means not change. Here I have to multiply by 6 times because denominator is 1. I have to multiply by denominator 6 times also, which means 19. I need to get positive, so positive angle 19 pi minus 12 pi. Very good. If I would take 3 pi, I still would get 3 times 2 pi. I would get 36 pi, which means 19 minus 36. I would take negative coterminal angle, right? But it's asking for positive. So therefore, I'm getting 7/6 pi. Okay, I'm done.